Hey everybody. Yesterday I was trying to get the X animation working, and I got it working. It looked good, but it wasn't. Some new issues sort of presented themselves in the as part of the kind of going over and figuring out the demo part and all that stuff. I figured those out. It wasn't a lot of code, but it's like one of my I feel like there's three big mega issues that sort of prevent uh, JavaScript developers from leveling up, and then two of them present quite often in Angular, and one of them I think is for the most part is very very rare that you run into it. The one that I the one that I've gotten to sort of show a bunch of times has been how the way Angular, um, or not Angular, JavaScript uh, assigns memory for primitives um, different than it does for objects, and arrays are part of objects, which then causes a lot of confusion when you're trying to develop things because you can't understand why certain references exist, and it's very because of it it's easy to create um, memory leaks. Anyways, that issue presented again in this, so I did want to talk about that. And then secondarily, just for completeness, the other two is one is that JavaScript runs on an async loop. A lot of people have a really tough time realizing that um, when you run certain lines of code one in front of the other, uh, the reference that the previous line of code would have created won't exist until after an async. The whole async loop is executed, um, and that's a good one I think that one presents all the time in Angular projects. I don't know if it's presented in this project. I think it has. I think I talked about it. And then the third one is closures. But the way that with these with these classes and all that, closures are extremely unusual. I don't think I've ever run across a legit closure issue in Angular 2 plus programs, except things that were like directly lifted and shifted from an Angular JS upgrade. Sometimes you might see a closure issue in that because they make heavy use of closures, and there was a sort of a time when everyone was using closures to create private variables, but that's not really an issue in Angular because everything's kind of all of the functions and variables are inside of classes that are then compiled away and then usually minified so that the names and all that don't make any sense. But anyway, so for this example though, so what I'm struggling with is that so I do have it animating. The camera will animate, and right now the camera is animating along the x-axis, right? But it doesn't feel like it to me. To me, it feels like I'm kind of curving around, but really I'm actually making a straight line. I'm actually staying the same distance from this square as that square, but I still this this back wall I never get any farther from it. But I think that might just be because the way the code is right now, it always looks at the origin, the 0, 0, 0 position, and this is sitting in the 0, 0 position. So like if you could imagine you were moving sideways, but you were always staring at the same thing, how you're getting closer to it the whole time. So I guess that's what's going on. I guess I could add. Let me add one more. So I have a mesh there. I'm gonna add a mesh behind it. So like at the sixth, I don't even know if you should be able to see it. So right now, if we look at the way the meshes are, let me close this up and then show the raw data. See, I have the left little fence, and then the middle, and then the right, and then I have the ball, and I have the ground, and I have the back. So let me put one in the front. Um, so add mesh, show the form, and then I'm just going to call this one front, and I'm going to put it at a z of 6. So the camera's at 5, so I would think, okay, yep. So we can see it when we're back looking at this thing, but we're far away from it. Okay, so then I'm going to make its width 0.1. No, it's depth 0.1. So it's just a skinny little wall. And then I'm going to make its width 100 and its height 100. And then I'm going to turn it into a Phong so that it has. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I feel like that feels a lot more like I'm moving on in a straight line, um, because that back wall gives me a nice reference. Um, yeah, and that is cool, dude. That is so cool. Um, it's kind of funny because, at the very beginning, I was just so excited just to have a spinning square. And this is like literally 10,000 times better, 100,000 times better. Yeah, it's so freaking cool. Um, but anyways, so yeah, let's go ahead and get to the code. And like I said, there wasn't many. All there is in the service is the console log that I just forgot to delete. Actually, I had deleted. I just didn't save. And then when I came back up, I had built all this stuff out, and I was like, oh, I need to save this, but then I'll lose um, all my fancy work there. But anyway, so at the top here, I had this. I used to have previous data is equal to animated pairs, and I changed it to previous data is equal to spread animation pairs. And this is in English, like so. If I break this down to English, what this is saying is the address that this is pointing at is the same address as this is pointing at. That's what that means in English. And then in this, it says create a new address for this to point at and take everything that was inside of this one and put it inside of that one. But don't move it. They're still the same things and all that. So that is a subtle difference. One of them, like I said, is just they're the same. And so basically what was happening yesterday was that it was never finding a change. And because anytime I made changes to anything within animation pairs, even though I was referencing it as animation pairs, it was also changing previous data because they're pointing at the exact same thing. Now says take all the parts that are inside of animation pairs and put them inside of this new container at a different address. And then if I remove a part from animation pairs, that old part is still sitting in there. And that's why this code can then work, which basically I did shift over. I mentioned that I thought I was going to do it. I shifted over to only putting all the IDs. So the assumption is that if the ID list of the two don't match exactly, then we don't have a match, and then redraw. And the underlying problem for this, just as a reminder, was that before, whenever I would change, like let's say I wanted to make this into, let's say it's 0, and I wanted to make it into a -12, the whole screen would redraw, and I would lose focus on this, so you couldn't type like the way I just did, Oh, that's crazy, creepy. Takes a long time though. But so yeah, you're like running away, run, and then there's like, oh wait, there's the prize. Oh crap, it's about to go by. Oh, I missed it. Okay, I got to remember that later. But anyways, yeah. So I was able just to, if the IDs of everything isn't the same, then we'll do that. And so let's change this to orthographic, because at this point I haven't. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And then the animation is different. It's not even animated at all. And let me go to animation, and yay, it's still working. I have to admit I was a little bit like, I hope this works. -15, and then 15, and let's make it like 3. And I don't know. I don't really know what orthographic does, but that is actually kind of cool though. I don't quite understand it. The ball looks the same height, so like if we switch it back, the camera back to perspective. See how the ball changes heights and all these things are changing. Oh, I'm almost done. If I change it to orthographic now, everything stays the same height. The shadows and stuff, everything moves based on our position, but all the dimensions stay the same. Um, so yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know what that's all about. But anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.